Hi, welcome to my channel, Untethered for Life. Today, we'll be walking the RiNo Art District in Denver, Colorado to showcase some of the most incredible pieces of wall and street art you will ever find. This isn't just a walking video though. We will go deeper beneath the painted surface of these pieces of art and learn about their stories and their history. Now, I've made every effort to find the source for the art that I filmed. For all of the art I could identify a source for, I've included a link in the description. Throughout the video, you will see a QR code appear on the screen occasionally. That QR code is a link to the social media page of the artist for the currently depicted piece of art. My suggestion, though, would be that you watch the entire video and return to the art that you want to investigate after. I hope some of the art presented moves you as much as it moved me. Before I get into the art that really moved me, and what I'm the most excited to share with you, and you'll want to stick around for, let me start by telling you a little bit about the RiNo Art District in general. Graffiti and wall art has always been a part of this area. This area is also known as Five Points and has an incredibly important and relevant history, which I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't go over. And I will, that's coming up. In the last 10 to 15 years, programs have been put in place that allow artists to more readily display grand pieces of art. Not only that, every little nook and cranny is covered with art. From the picnic tables, electrical boxes, gutters, trash containers, everything has art on it. It's also very easy to spend a day here, with plenty of restaurants, food trucks, diners, bars, and places you could just take a seat. A critical central point in the area also is the Denver Central Market. And now, I'll finally show off some of the fun, quirky, and pretty art you'll find in RiNo. Real quick though, before I get into that, I wanted to pause and let you know a few things. I absolutely love the state of Colorado. I was born, raised, and have lived here for 40 years. If you really want to know about this state, I'd highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications so you can get updates. Next, I offer various types of Colorado tours. If you're looking for deeper, richer Colorado experiences, you should sign up for a tour with me. Visit my website for details. Okay. Now to the art. The owner of this Italian restaurant had a mural done of his parents on their wedding day. Aw, how cute. I searched high and low for this artist and came up empty. It has a mix of comedy and religion, but what's most impressive is the incredible level of detail. A predominant theme throughout much of the art in the RiNo Art District portrays culture and people that have struggled to find equality throughout the country. In many states, laws are being rewritten that undo years of civil rights progress. For example, this artist, David Puck, is an advocate for LGBTQ rights, and it's reflected in his murals. A favorite piece of mine that he has done outside of RiNo is a mural of two men kissing. Two male friends of his kissed publicly in the open while he painted them. What a brave and impactful artist. As a bisexual man myself, and as much as I hate to say this, I'm glad that I can live a rather heteronormative life. I couldn't imagine the pain and difficulty trans people have. And even more so if they live in a state where their civil rights are constantly challenged or where they're not culturally accepted. I know some folks that have lived in Colorado a long time, and they get really frustrated when people from other states, particularly Texas and California, move to Colorado. Granted, this piece of art behind me really speaks volumes to why some people may make that choice, and I can't say I blame them. It's a great piece of art. So the next piece of art I'm about to show you, at first glance, and especially where it's located, appears to just be another mural amongst a sea of murals. But this one is special. The artist is Ali Grimm, and she goes by the pseudonym A.L. Grime. What makes this piece and much of her work so unique is that while running an app on your phone, Art5, you can look at the mural and the lines will shift and move. The eyes will blink. In sync with music playing by the artist Ciroc, a Black American rapper that's portrayed in this mural. She's an advocate for equal representation of women in technology and for teaching people how to provide data to algorithms in a way that our digital world will accurately reflect our society. That algorithms are making decisions about every aspect of our lives already. From groceries to content we see on our phones, job applications, credit lines, and so much more. And that these algorithms can be just as discriminatory as people. I can't even comprehend what life has been like or is like for Black Americans. I can try my best to empathize with the art portrayed and share openly and vulnerably about my own perception. This piece in particular by Austin Zucchini Fowler is a Black nurse during the pandemic with angel wings and boxing gloves. All of us know that nurses and doctors during the pandemic were put into extremely difficult situations during the deadliest portion of the pandemic. More isolated than any of us, working extremely long hours, and in some cases getting sick themselves. Couple this with the other pandemic our country is currently in, which is the continued racism and segregation of Black people by police and our justice system. Just put yourself in the shoes of a Black nurse after the George Floyd incident during the pandemic. Do you protest with your peers, or do you keep yourself safe and continue to serve your community? A community in which you don't feel you're treated fairly and justly. The culture of Black people in RiNo is a critical one. And before I show you my favorite piece of art that I filmed, we're going to talk more about the neighborhood RiNo is in, 5 Points. 5 Points used to be commonly referred to as Denver's Harlem of the West. In the late 1900s, due to 5 Points' proximity to the railroad, 5 Points saw an influx of Black immigrants coming from the South. As a result of restrictive neighborhood covenants and discriminatory housing practices in the early 20th century, Black people who came here were stuck. In 1920, 90% of the Black population resided in the 2.3 square mile neighborhood of 5 Points. It became a central spot for black artists and businesses, and a vibrant culture thrived for some time. It had more black-owned businesses than any other community in the nation, with the exception of Harlem, hence the nickname. In the 1950s to the 1990s, discriminatory housing policies started to ease, and people started to leave. 5 Points suffered significant urban decline, with buildings abandoned and violent crime at an extreme high. Fast forward today, wealthy investors are buying the land cheaply to build more expensive housing. Originally, black people couldn't leave because of racist segregation laws. Despite that, they made the neighborhood their own, and it thrived. While crime is on the decline in 5 Points, many black people have been forced to leave because they can no longer afford to live there. Hopefully, their art and the history will remain for some time. Now onto my favorite piece of art. A piece of art that after research drew me to tears. The story here is so fascinating, sad, inspiring, and moving all at the same time. This mural, like many murals in RiNo, it's not immediately visible, it isn't highlighted, and it's not particularly large. But symbolically, it packs a punch. Let's take a look. To begin with, it's painted using indigenous Aztec motifs. The figures on the left are wearing COVID masks protesting, while the figures on the right are removing a statue. This essentially represents the Black Lives Matter movement during the pandemic and the removal of Confederate statues in the South. The story becomes even more powerful when you learn about the artist, Alicia Cardenas. She was born in Denver by her parents and grandparents that brought their Aztec tradition with them. She started tattooing at 16 and was employed by a tattoo parlor a year later. In 1997, when she was 20, she opened her first tattoo shop, Twisted Soul, in Denver. Then in 2009, she moved locations and opened Soul Tribe. She spoke openly and vehemently about the fair treatment of women tattoo artists and was not afraid to call out local shops that didn't treat female employees properly. On December 27th, 2021, she was shot by a gunman targeting specific tattoo shops. That gunman killed 5 people in 3 different locations before the police finally outgunned him. After that event, this mural of Alicia Cardenas was painted in her honor by 3 other RiNo muralists. Since her passing, she was written about in Rolling Stone magazine, included in a documentary, These Storied Walls, and is represented in the History Colorado Center. All of the links are in the description of this video. Now, I will be getting my next tattoo at Soul Tribe, and if they'll allow me, I hope I can record it and share that experience with all of you. Now, this isn't a sad visit to RiNo, by the way. More a reminder of where we've been so that we could be hopeful for a more just and equitable future. And the only way we can do that is by remembering our past. Here are a few more fun and quirky pieces of art I captured at RiNo before I leave you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was really a pleasure visiting RiNo and sharing that experience with all of you. So quick reminder, I do tours in Colorado. Feel free to check out my website, which is in the video's description. I'd love to show you around. And if you love Colorado, you're thinking about moving to Colorado, or you've been here a while and you need something to do, subscribe to my channel. I cover a lot of cool stuff.